The year is 1848. Along the banks of the American River in California, a discovery is made that will soon draw global attention. At a sawmill owned by John Sutter, a carpenter named James W. Marshall notices small, bright particles in the water. After examining them closely, he confirms what they are: gold. At first, the discovery is not widely announced. Sutter hopes to keep it quiet to protect his land and business operations. However, maintaining secrecy proves difficult. Workers begin to talk, and travelers carry the information beyond the immediate area. Within a short time, the news reaches nearby towns. In early 1848, reports of gold begin to circulate more widely. Later that year, the announcement is confirmed by U.S. officials, adding credibility to the claims. Newspapers publish the story, and what begins as a local discovery quickly becomes national news. By the end of the year, the information has spread far beyond the United States. By 1849, large numbers of people begin traveling to California. These individuals come from across the United States, as well as from countries in Latin America, Europe, and Asia. Many of them become known as the 49ers, named after the year they arrive. The journey to California is long and often difficult. Those traveling by land must cross vast distances, including plains, mountains, and desert regions. Some routes pass through areas with limited water and supplies. Others involve crossing challenging terrain such as the Sierra Nevada mountains. Another group chooses to travel by sea. Some sail around the southern tip of South America, a route that can take several months. Others travel to Central America, cross the land, and then board another ship to continue north along the Pacific coast. Each route presents its own challenges, including weather conditions, delays, and logistical difficulties. Despite these challenges, thousands continue to make the journey, driven by the possibility of finding gold. When they arrive, many settle near rivers and streams where gold has been discovered. Areas along the Sierra Nevada foothills become central locations for mining activity. In the early stages, miners rely on simple methods. One of the most common techniques is placer mining, where individuals use pans to separate gold from sand and gravel in riverbeds. This method requires patience but can yield results when gold is present near the surface. During the first months of the gold rush, some miners are able to find gold relatively quickly. These early successes contribute to the growing interest in the region. However, as more people arrive, the situation begins to change. The easily accessible gold becomes harder to find. Riverbeds that once produced results are worked repeatedly. Competition increases as thousands of miners search the same areas. For many individuals, finding gold becomes more difficult and time-consuming. As a result, mining techniques begin to evolve. More advanced methods, such as sluice boxes and rockers, are introduced to process larger amounts of material. Over time, mining becomes more organized, and larger operations begin to replace individual efforts. While many people focus on mining, others recognize different opportunities. Businesses begin to form to support the growing population. Merchants sell tools, food, clothing, and equipment. Services such as lodging, transportation, and food preparation become essential. In many cases, these businesses provide more stable income than mining itself. Shop owners and suppliers benefit from consistent demand, as miners rely on them for daily needs. This creates a local economy that extends beyond gold extraction. One of the most significant transformations takes place in San Francisco. Before the gold rush, it is a small settlement with limited population. Within a short period, it becomes a major port and commercial center. Ships arrive regularly, bringing people and goods from around the world. Many ships are left abandoned as crews leave to join the gold rush. Buildings are constructed quickly to accommodate the growing population. Roads, businesses, and infrastructure develop at a rapid pace. The gold rush also contributes to broader economic growth. Trade increases, and connections between California and other regions strengthen. Transportation routes improve, making it easier to move goods and people. In 1850, California officially becomes a state of the United States. This marks an important step in its development and integration into the country. The population continues to grow, and communities become more structured and organized. However, the gold rush period is not without challenges. Living conditions in mining camps can be difficult. Access to clean water, food, and shelter is not always reliable. As more people arrive, resources in certain areas become limited. Additionally, mining activity begins to impact the environment. Rivers and landscapes are altered as miners search for gold. Over time, larger-scale operations increase these effects. By the early 1850s, the nature of the gold rush begins to change. The easily accessible gold has largely been collected. Mining now requires more advanced equipment, greater investment, and organized labor. For many individuals, this shift makes mining less accessible. Some decide to leave California and return home. Others move on to different regions in search of new opportunities. At the same time, many choose to stay and transition into other forms of work. Farming, trade, and business become more stable long-term options. Towns and cities continue to develop, and the region becomes more economically diverse. Although the peak of the gold rush lasts only a few years, its impact is long-lasting. It brings a large and diverse population to California, contributing to cultural and economic growth. Infrastructure improvements made during this period support future development. The California Gold Rush becomes one of the most significant events in American history. It represents a period of rapid change, driven by discovery and opportunity. While not everyone achieves the success they seek, the experience shapes the lives of those who take part. Today, the legacy of the gold rush can still be seen in California's development. Cities that grew during this period remain important centers of trade and culture. The story of the gold rush continues to be remembered as a defining moment in the history of the region.